Hello friends, in the last session we have seen the constitution of appellate authority under section 22G of the Chartered Accountants Act, which is the same appellate authority with the Cost and Works Accountants Act as well as the Company Secretaries Act. We have also seen that the appeal is to be preferred within 90 days from the receipt of order under 21A3 or 21B3 of the respective statutes. The appeal is to be filed within 90 days. An advocate, a chartered accountant, company secretary, or a cost accountant can represent. The fees are 5,000 rupees for appeal, and for a stay petition to stay the order passed by the disciplinary committee or board of discipline, a separate stay petition is required to be made, for which 500 fees are payable. Now, we have also seen the constitution of or composition of appellate authority. Now, appellate authority has the power to pass an order under section 22G of the Chartered Accountants Act, which is parallel in other two statutes also. It has a power in clause A, I read out, confirm, modify or set aside the order. It can confirm, modify or set aside the order. B, it says that impose any penalty or set aside or reduce or enhance the penalty imposed by the order. C, remit the case to board of discipline or a disciplinary committee. And D, pass such other order as the authority thinks fit. So these are the powers vested with the appellate authority. Now let us see clause by clause the powers. In clause A says it has the power to confirm the order passed by the disciplinary committee or board of discipline. In a sense, if the disciplinary committee has reprimanded a member, professional, levied a fine of rupees, say 2 lakh rupees, and has removed his name, say for 6 months, then the appellate authority can confirm the order passed by the disciplinary committee or board of discipline, as the case may be. That means it will not make any variation in the sentence or the penalty part levied by the disciplinary committee. It can set aside the order. That means appellate authority can also set aside the order. That means if a committee has held a member as guilty, then appellate authority come to conclusion that the member professional is not guilty, and whatever penalty that has been levied, sentence that has been laid down by the disciplinary committee or board of discipline can be set to naught, can be set aside, and the member is as good as not held guilty. However, the second word is modify. The appellate authority has authority to modify the order passed by the board of discipline or disciplinary committee. Now here one issue is there. Now whether the word modify includes enhancement. So if the two parts, we will discuss this. First is modification in the order of board of discipline or a disciplinary committee. For instance, if the committee has held a member guilty and has levied a fine of say 1 lakh rupees and a removal of membership for 6 months. On appeal to the appellate authority, then appellate authority may come to a conclusion that the removal of 6 months is excessive than warranted by the professional misconduct by the member professional. So therefore it wants to reduce the removal from 6 months to say 2 months. And the appellate authority wants to increase the fine in rupees from say 2 lakh rupees to 5 lakhs. That means either way it is possible for the appellate authority to modify, means to reduce the removal period as well as to reduce the fine or to increase the fine or to issue only a reprimand and fine rather than removal. That means it can deal with the penalty part the way appellate authority thinks fit. However, only one issue that is left, I am not saying to be decided by the appellate authority, is to be decided by the Supreme Court or the High Court in other proceedings. Now, whether the word modify includes enhancement, because there were 2-3 decisions of the appellate authority where the committee has recommended removal of a member for a period of 1 year, and at the appellate stage the penalty period, removal period, is increased from 1 year to 2 years. Now this is something unheard of for me to say, because I feel the word modification does not authorize the appellate authority to increase the removal period than what is prescribed by the disciplinary committee or the board of discipline. Now my submission, I am not sure whether it will be acceptable at the appellate authority stage or it will get accepted at the higher level, say the Supreme Court. But I feel so that a modification does not include enhancement. And for that I have some reasons to state. The reasons I feel so, that if you go through the power of appellate authority in clause 2. Now what the clause 2 reads, impose any penalty or set aside or reduce or enhance the penalty imposed by the order. In clause B, there is a specific power for enhancement in the penalty amount. That means the appellate authority, if the disciplinary committee has levied a penalty of say rupees 2 lakh rupees, then under clause B, the appellate authority can reduce the penalty or appellate authority can enhance the penalty. That means appellate authority can increase the penalty amount, say from 2 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees. So specific power is granted in clause B to the appellate authority for enhancement in the penalty amount, but there is no such specific power given in clause A, which only says modification in the order. So I feel that the enhancement is not included within the meaning of modification. Further say, again there are two technical reasons. The complainant, we have seen, cannot be an appellant before the appellate authority. The Act does not allow that. In a sense, suppose the disciplinary committee has levied a fine of rupees 1 lakh rupees and a removal of 3 months. The complainant is not satisfied with the punishment meted out by the disciplinary committee, and the complainant wants to make an appeal to the appellate authority for enhancing the fine amount as well as enhancing the period of removal. Now complainant does not have authority to approach the appellate authority against the order passed by the disciplinary committee or board of discipline. Only a member can appeal to the appellate authority, or the director discipline can appeal to the appellate authority if and only if so authorized by the council of the respective institutes. So complainant is not a party to the petition before the appellate authority. A complainant cannot appeal to the appellate authority against the order of penalty or against the order of removal passed by the disciplinary committee. So I feel so when there is no application by the complainant, when complainant is prohibited to make such an application, then the appellate authority does not have power of enhancement for the removal period. The third reason I feel so is the appellate authority cannot enhance because against the order, against the appeal by the chartered accountant, against the order by the professional member, the appeal is filed by the professional member, there is no cross appeal filed by the institute or a complainant. As you have seen, complainant cannot approach the appellate authority at all. But institute can approach it, but there is no provision for cross appeal, which is so provided under the Income Tax Act or other statutes. So as such, the institute is not in cross appeal against the petition made by the professional member. So again, on that basis also, I feel that the appellate authority has no power to enhance. But of course, with respect, the appellate authorities have passed orders where the period of removal is enhanced, and this needs to be tested with the higher authorities. It is my humble submission. Then, if you can convince the appellate authority that the Board of Discipline or the disciplinary committee has not taken into account the necessary evidence or documents or have acted capriciously or in a biased manner, then the appellate authority has a power to remit the issue back to the file of Board of Discipline or the disciplinary committee to de novo start the investigation and production of evidence, witnesses, documents, etc., and come to a conclusion again. This has happened in many such cases where the appellate authority has set aside the punishment levied under 21A3 or 21B3 and directed the Board of Discipline or appellate authority to do or redo the investigation again and come to a conclusion. Then the appellate authority has got power to pass such other order as it thinks fit. It's a sort of a residuary power which is available to any tribunal or available to any court. Now, beyond appellate authority, is there any provision in the Act for appeal? From Board of Discipline and Disciplinary Committee, appeal will lie to the appellate authority. But what beyond appellate authority? The Chartered Accountants Act, the Cost and Works Accountants Act, as well as the Company Secretaries Act does not provide for appeal against the order passed by the appellate authority. Then where the appeal will lie? In my opinion, the appeal will lie directly to the Supreme Court with a special leave petition under Article 136 of the Constitution of India. In Article 136, there is a specific provision, there is a special power with the Supreme Court that if there is no provision for appeal given in any statute, then the person can directly approach the Supreme Court under Article 136 as a special leave petition. But one fact to be remembered, that special leave petition is a discretionary power of the Supreme Court. Number two, that special leave petition, if admitted by the Supreme Court, the matter will be heard with the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court dismisses the special leave petition, then there is no further appeal. Whatever order passed by the appellate authority is final and binding on the member as well as the respective institutes. Now, why to approach under Article 136? Because under the SEBI Act, there is a specific provision under Section 15Z of the SEBI Act that against SEBI order, an appeal is provided with the SEBI Appellate Tribunal, SAT. And against the order of SEBI Appellate Tribunal, the appeal will lie to the Supreme Court directly under Section 15Z of the SEBI Act. In the like manner, we have got National Company Law Tribunal under the Companies Act, and against the order of National Company Law Tribunal, an appeal can be made to the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT. Section 423 of the Companies Act 2013 specifically provides that an appeal against the order of National Company Law Tribunal shall lie with the Supreme Court of India. That means the SEBI Act as well as the Companies Act have provided the appeal to the Supreme Court directly, whereas under the Chartered Accountants Act or Cost and Works Accountants Act as well as the Company Secretaries Act, there is no specific provision for appeal to the Supreme Court. So I believe that the only remedy available is to approach the Supreme Court through SLP, that is under Article 136 of the Constitution of India. Needless to say that SLP is maintainable only on the questions, substantial questions of law, and the facts will not be discussed at the Supreme Court stage. So this is how the appellate procedure with respect to appellate authority and beyond that. If you like this lecture, forward it to our professional brothers. If you want to communicate with me, you may make an email to me at sharadvajeytc@gmail.com. Thank you very much. In the next section, we are going to see why there are cases for professional misconduct where we professional lack in practice, how we are negligent and how to avoid such negligence. Thank you very much.